Shopify is a global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business and sell more with less effort thanks to the Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/redcircle, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/redcircle now to grow your business no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/redcircle.
Welcome to the Dogs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, what's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dogs Podcast presented by Manly Bands. Josh All, your host as usual during the week here, just coming to you with this little midweek update. We are right between the disappointing loss to the Vikings in London on Sunday and what I believe will be the eventual loss in Pittsburgh on Sunday against the Steelers. But we will do the preview show on Thursday afternoon, 3 p.m. Eastern in the Discord Dog Pack episode live. So if you want to be a part of that, if you want to get in there, get your thoughts, your questions, your opinions on the show, head over to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon page, sync up with the private Discord. That gets you access to everything that we do behind the scenes. In the Discord is where the Dog Pack community lives. I mean, lives, thrives. We're in there every Sunday talking about the game. Right now, things are getting spicy every week in there, it seems like, because there is a huge differing of opinion, and it's largely one-sided, but there is a differing of opinion on what the Browns need to do in the future with their head coach, which is what, again, I'm going to talk a little bit about today. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here every week coming in, talking about how this team is poorly coached, is unprepared, but I'm trying to drive that point home because when you're watching the game, and, you know, I've been paying attention to Jake Burns at Browns Film Breakdown. I've been texting with him, talking to him on the side, just trying to figure out, like, what are you seeing on the All-22 on your film breakdowns? Because Jake is a film expert. I mean, if you don't follow Jake on X, if you're not a member on Substack for Browns Film Breakdown, go check it out, give it a shot, see if it's for you. It might not be. Maybe film study and all that. I mean, it's not for everybody, but it is very interesting when he breaks it down. And a lot of the stuff he was showing from the game in London is the same story we've seen repeated over and over and over, it feels like, with Kevin Stefanski. And that is unpreparedness. Players don't know what they're doing. They don't know where to line up. There was the one play in the fourth quarter where Dylan Gabriel had to tell Harold Fannin, who was trying to line up, I think it was on the right side of the line, like, dude, get back here. You're on the left side of me in the backfield. And, you know, Fannin had to jump back there real quick. Isaiah Bond, a couple plays, Jake was pointing out, like, was blocking linemen or something. Like, he wasn't really sure what he was supposed to be doing on plays, so he was just trying to block somebody. David Njoku had a pass rusher on one play that got absolutely blown up. Dylan Gabriel had to ditch the pass almost immediately because Njoku missed his block off the left side. So it's not just rookies not knowing what they're doing. It's veterans as well, missing assignments, making mistakes. There was the one play that went around Twitter where Wyatt Teller, I think it was a Quinshon Judkins run play, if I'm not mistaken. I should have looked this up first, but at any rate, the point of the play was Wyatt Teller, I forget who posted it, said, "What is 70 or where is 77 going on his excursion?" The entire play was like going to the right side forward, obviously, and Wyatt Teller was like bailing out as if it was like a screen pass or something behind the line of scrimmage. Super weird. And, you know, we've argued, if you guys watch the show, obviously after the games, you know, Blake and I argue a lot about whether this whole situation with the Browns and why we're 4-20 since the last time we won back-to-back games is a result of, you know, the Browns not having good players on offense, because a lot of times Blake and other people will say, well, there's no good players on this team. No, there's phenomenal players on this team. They're on the defensive side of the ball. So we do have good players on this team. It's the offense that's terrible. And, you know, is that 100% the record? Is that all on the players? Or is it on the coaching? And, you know, I'm definitely pointing at the coaching for this, because I don't care how inexperienced the players are, like I said, it's all the way from rookies to seasoned vets, are miscommunicating, making mistakes, mental errors on the field, don't know what the play is, don't know what they're doing. And that, to me, is just a major concern. So there's a tweet that I saw today that I really just wanted to hone in on for this. And again, this probably won't be a super long episode. Like I keep saying, I don't want to beat the dead horse. But I think that this is important to take a look at. So this tweet comes from KFC. So this is at KF Christian on X. So this is breaking down the Browns offense through 5 weeks. Okay, so just for the first 5 weeks from 2017, when Hue Jackson was the head coach running the offense and the team went 0-16. So for the first 5 weeks of 2017 compared to the first 5 weeks of right now, 2025, under Kevin Stefanski, again, this is just on the offensive side of the ball. In 2027, the Browns under Hue Jackson averaged 14.6 points a game through the first 5 games. What are the Browns averaging this year? 14.6 points per game. In 2017, the Browns averaged 309 yards per game through the first 5 weeks, 309 yards per game. Right now in 2025, the Browns are averaging 288 yards per game. So less than the Browns offense averaged in 2017 under Hue Jackson. Points per play. The Browns are averaging 0.22 points per play in 2025. Back in 2017, they averaged 0.232 points per play. So better than this year's offense. In 2017, the Browns offense was 33.8% on third down. And this year, they are 34.2% on third down. So a little better this year, but not great, not a whole lot better. In 2017, the Browns offense averaged 1.7 touchdowns per game through the first 5 weeks. 1.7 touchdowns per game. This year, 1.6. So less. And finally, in 2017, Hue Jackson's offense through the first 5 games averaged 4.9 yards per play. This year, 4.3. The Browns offense this season, statistically through the first 5 weeks under Kevin Stefanski, is worse, slightly worse, not a whole lot, but still, it's not better than Hue Jackson's offense through the first 5 weeks back in 2017. Those are the numbers. Those are the stats, and the record reflects it. The record reflects it, because if you think about through the first 5 weeks, the Browns were obviously 0-5 in 2017 because we didn't win a game that season. What are we right now? 1-4. Not much difference. So, we argue about it a lot. Blake says it's all about the personnel. The coaching is fine. There's, nothing wrong with the coaching. Everything goes to the players. Okay, I wanted to go back. Let's look at who the players were in 2017 for this Hue Jackson offense that was, again, slightly better through 5 weeks than the Kevin Stefanski offense this year. Quarterback in 2017 was rookie second-round pick Deshaun Kaiser. Okay? Who's better, Deshaun Kaiser or Joe Flacco / Dylan Gabriel? Okay, think about that. Running back, Isaiah Crowell. Okay, Hue Jackson had a better offense through 5 weeks, statistically, with Isaiah Crowell as his running back. Who do the Browns have right now? Quinshon Judkins. Who's better, guys? Who's the better running back? Quinshon or Isaiah Crowell? Let's talk about wide receivers, shall we? Wide receivers. Let's just go with your top 2 here, because I don't have the full. Why do I not have the full list here? Oh, I see it now. Well, let's just go through the full list then. All right. Wide receivers in 2017 compared to 2025. Let's talk about Corey Coleman, Kenny Britt. How about that? Sammy Coates, Josh Gordon, who didn't play because he was suspended, but he was on the roster. Rashard Higgins, a young, I think it was either rookie year or second year Rashard Higgins. Jordan Leslie, Ricardo Lewis, Bryce Treggs, Kaysen Williams. Those are your wide receivers from 2017. Let's roll through it again. Kenny Britt, Sammy Coates, Corey Coleman, Rashard Higgins, Jordan Leslie, Ricardo Lewis, Bryce Treggs, and Kaysen Williams. And Hue Jackson had a better statistical offense through 5 games than Kevin Stefanski, and those were his wide receivers. This is not a Hue Jackson support show, by the way. I hated Hue Jackson. Hated him Wanted him gone so bad. Couldn't believe they brought him back. Hated Hue Jackson. Just so you guys understand where I'm at right now with how this Browns offense is performing. Who are Kevin Stefanski's wide receivers? Well, I would say, and I would argue that Jerry Jeudy, for as bad as he's been, for as many drops as he's had, is better than anybody on that Hue Jackson offense. Is he better than Corey Coleman? Yes. Don't be stupid about it. Yes, he's better than what Corey Coleman ever was. Is he better than Kenny Britt? Yeah, come on. We don't need to talk about this. Again, this was second year Rashard Higgins. I don't think he really did a whole lot. There was nobody. There was nobody on that 2017 offense for Hue Jackson at the wide receiver position. And I'll say, after Jerry Jeudy, there's nobody on this team. Okay? Cedric Tillman. I think Cedric Tillman's, I don't think there's anything going to be there, guys. I'm not optimistic about the future for Cedric Tillman because the present and the past have not been great at all. And this is year 3. Okay, so then it's what? Jamari Thrash, Isaiah Bond. Like, these names that the Browns have at the wide receiver core right now, we're going to look at them 10 years down the road the same way we're looking at this 2017 roster going, who the heck are these wide receivers? And this is all we had? Yes, this is all we had. So let's look at tight end for Mr. Hue Jackson back in the day. At 2017, we had David Njoku, rookie David Njoku. So again, David Njoku as a rookie was not David Njoku what he is right now for Kevin Stefanski. And if you guys are if I'm not leading this along well enough or whatever, because I probably should have had another cup of coffee here this morning. Kevin Stefanski has a better offense, better personnel right now than what Hue Jackson had back in 2017. And Hue Jackson had slightly better statistical output through 5 weeks of the NFL season. I had something I wanted to say there. I'll get to in a minute. Other tight ends, Seth DeValve, Randall Telfer. These are the guys for Hue Jackson. Let's look at the offensive line. You've got Joe Thomas. I believe that was the year Joe Thomas got injured and his career was over. So that would have been, So Joe Thomas ended up getting replaced by Spencer Drango at left tackle. Kind of sounds like the left tackle situation we have going on right now. And then, let's see, the left guard. Oh, gee, it's the same dude. It's Joel Bitonio. And then you've got J.C. Treader at center, Kevin Zeitler at right guard, and Sean Coleman at right tackle. So Spencer Drango and Sean Coleman at your tackles for Hue Jackson in 2017. Very similar to the tackle situation that Kevin Stefanski is dealing with right now with the Browns offense here in 2025. The interior of that O-line, Joel Bitonio, J.C. Treader, Kevin Zeitler, pretty good. I mean, that was your solid interior of your O-line, just like we've got Joel Bitonio, Ethan Posick, and Wyatt Teller right now. What I'm pointing to here is the offense is being run poorly. There's no excuse for Kevin Stefanski to have a worse statistical offense than Hue Jackson had in 2017. And what I was going to say a couple minutes ago, I know there's people that are going to point to the schedule. Well, look at the schedule we opened with. We started out with a gauntlet. It was the hardest schedule in the NFL. Guys, 2 of our games so far were against the Bengals and the Ravens. The Bengals, we only scored 16 points against the Cincinnati Bengals defense, which is terrible. Terrible defense. That game does not belong as part of this gauntlet schedule to open the season. And then we played the Ravens. Okay, guys, think about the Ravens defense. We have a sample size now, so we can look back and say what we thought was a tough team week 2 against the Ravens was not. The Browns offense scored 3. Okay, I want you guys to think about this. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again. 3 legitimate points, competitive points against the Ravens defense. The late garbage time touchdown by Dylan Gabriel doesn't count because we weren't, the game was over. I'm taking that out. I am. Because they were playing backups. The game was done. That was it. By the way, we're their only win this season. They're 1-4 just like we are. And then the other the only touchdown the Browns scored during the competitive portion of that game was a blown in his hands interception by, I think it was Marlon Humphrey, popped it up in the air, and maybe it was Kyle Hamilton behind him. There were like two Ravens defenders that should have picked off Joe Flacco's pass. Ball flipped in the air, landed in Cedric Tillman's hands in the end zone for a touchdown. So it was a fluky touchdown. That's why I say the Browns scored 3, because we kicked a field goal, 3 legitimate competitive points against the Ravens defense, who in their other 4 games this season are averaging 40 points. I didn't say 4, I didn't say 14. 40 points given up. They gave up 41 to the Bills, 38 to the Lions, 37 to the Chiefs, and 44 to the Texans. And we scored 3. 3. Okay? What gauntlet? What gauntlet? I know we had to play the Packers. And guess what? We beat them. We beat them on the back of our defense. If Grant Delpit doesn't get that interception, take it down to the goal line, we don't win that game. Well, also, if we don't block that field goal attempt at the end too, like, we won that game, and I'm happy we won that game. But it was not on the back of our any offensive output whatsoever. And then, yes, we had to play the Lions. They're a great team, so that was a very tough matchup. And then we go and play the Vikings in London. And this is, I posted this on X the other day, and it's funny because then Blake tried to contradict it, and it didn't go very well. So you had Kevin O'Connell versus Kevin Stefanski in London on Sunday. And I said, Kevin O'Connell had 3 backup offensive linemen. He had a backup quarterback. His starting running back, Aaron Jones, was on IR for this game. Coach's decision, benched his second best wide receiver for the first quarter. KOC was going against the top defense in the league. Yeah, Kevin Stefanski and the Browns offense was going against the top 3 pass defense in the league. KOC and the Vikings were going against the number 1 overall defense, period, in the league. KOC's offense fumbled twice to that great defense. His kicker missed a field goal that would have tied the game. The Vikings committed 7 penalties for 50 yards, and KOC's quarterback was sacked 3 times. Oh, and Carson Wentz, by the way, had to leave the first half early, right before halftime, to go get a shot in his shoulder because he got banged up on a run, came back and played the entire second half with an injured shoulder, and the Vikings found a way to win. So, just this whole gauntlet schedule thing, I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Vikings were down. Like, they were, if you should have won that game. Should have won that game. Should have won the Bengals game. No excuse to get beat by the Ravens. No excuse. No excuse. Looking back now, after 5 weeks, there's no excuse to lose to the Bengals if you have anywhat of a good offense, because you can move the ball and you can score points on the Ravens defense, and we have this high-flying elite number 1, defense or whatever. By the way, I think we're looking at a case of the 2023 situation where the Browns defense at home is the elite defense, and the Browns defense on the road is not. This episode is sponsored by Manly Bands. Browns fans, if you're looking for manly rings and manly things, head over to manlybands.com/dogs, DAWGS, and check out everything Manly Bands has to offer. And right now, get 35% off site-wide with promo code PRIME. That's PRIME. They've got rings out of every material you could possibly be looking for. They've even got stuff you're not looking for, like meteorite and dinosaur bone. They've got collections like their awesome Lord of the Rings themed bands. They've got DC Comics and Jeep and Jack Daniel's whiskey barrel bands. And they've also got great gifts for men like barware, chains, bracelets. They've got retirement gifts. They've got shot glasses. They've got lighters. They've got all kinds of things. So head over to manlybands.com/dogs. Use that promo code PRIME to get 35% off site-wide today. That's manlybands.com/dogs, promo code PRIME. This episode is sponsored by Omaha Steaks. Browns fans, I know it just turned into October here, but it's never too early to start planning your gift giving with the holidays not too far away. And right now, during Omaha Steaks early Black Friday sale, get 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select favorites at omahasteaks.com. Plus, you guys, our listeners, get an extra $35 off with promo code BARK, B-A-R-K, at checkout. I always give Omaha Steaks as gifts for the holidays, and I love it when I receive them too. Because there's nothing like having a freezer stocked full of Omaha Steaks, high quality steak, burgers, chicken, the desserts, the appetizers, the ready to eat meals. All that stuff is phenomenal from Omaha Steaks. So save big, guys, with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide and an extra 20% off select favorites during their early Black Friday sale. And for an extra $35 off, use promo code BARK at checkout. Terms apply. See site for details. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com. Promo code BARK at checkout. This is the same story we saw in 2023, just kind of switching gears to the defensive side of the ball for a moment. It was just like that in 2023. The Browns defense at home, I think, was like the number one defense in the league. On the road, they were, I forget the number, they were like 26 or 27. They were bottom of the league. Bottom 10 defense on the road. This year on the road, you saw Lamar Jackson dice us up for 4 touchdowns. You saw the Lions on the road just do whatever they want with us. And I consider, and I know it's going to be tough looking at box score splits and things like that, with this London game technically being listed as a home game for the Browns. This was not. This was a road game for everybody involved. Again, on the road, not in Cleveland, the Browns defense, once again, not elite. Gave up, 335 some yards or something like 9. I forget what the number was. They moved the ball on us pretty well on the ground and through the air. And, a lot of people who are against my argument here with KOC are like, well, yeah, sure, their quote unquote starting quarterback was out, but, Carson Wentz is better than JJ McCarthy. Guys, it's still Carson Wentz. It's still Carson Wentz. This guy was basically out of the league. He's been through half of the teams in the league over the last several years of his career. Can't stick anywhere, can't do anything anywhere. But who's he paired with now? Kevin O'Connell. And he looks like a competent quarterback. And a lot of people will say, that this is your 2-time head coach of the year you're talking about here. Kevin Stefanski, 2-time head coach of the year. He's won head coach of the year 2 times. Guys, I don't care. Two head coach of the year awards when you're 4-20 in your last 24 games don't mean diddly to me. Okay. There are a lot of coaches who have not won head coach of the year, or definitely not 2 head coach of the year awards, who you could never argue are better than Kevin or are worse than Kevin Stefanski ever. What about, Sean McVay has won head coach of the year once. Kevin O'Connell just now won it in 2024. Let's see. Andy Reid has not won head coach of the year since 2002. I'm pretty sure he's doing very well with the Chiefs. John Harbaugh, let's see, was head coach of the year in 2019, but that's it. Mike Tomlin. Interesting. Mike Tomlin, Mr. Never been below 500 in his career, has never been head coach of the year. And he's definitely a better coach than Kevin Stefanski. I'm just saying that the 2-time head coach of the year thing, cool. That's great. It's a great accolade. It's great to put on your resume for when you're looking for that next job. Doesn't do anything for me whenever you're 4-20 in your last 24 games. Doesn't do anything for me. Oh, by the way, in 2022, Brian Daboll with the Giants won head coach of the year. I don't think he's long for the ride in New York with the way they've performed over his tenure there. We got to look at this how it is. This team is poorly coached. The penalties every year we lead the league in pre-snap penalties, overall penalties. We're among the league leaders. Every year we lead the league in turnovers, which, by the way, if you're looking for a positive out of this podcast that I just realized has been extremely negative, and I apologize. Team sucks right now. What do you want from me? If you want a positive, Dylan Gabriel is the first Browns quarterback to not commit a turnover, or at least I think I saw something about that on X. Again, I didn't bring up a whole lot of like notes for this. I just kind of went into this thing talking about what I'm feeling here. But the Browns had no turnovers. He didn't throw an interception, and I think that was the first time the Browns have not thrown an interception since it was like early last year. I think it was before Watson got hurt. There were some games where he didn't throw a pick, and since then, every game we've had at least one interception with Jameis, with DTR, with Zappy, with Flacco. So, good job. Dylan Gabriel taking care of the ball. Again, going back to that game on Sunday, thought, I agree with Blake. There was nothing that wowed me with Dylan Gabriel, but if you guys watched the preview show last week that I did, I wasn't expecting to be wowed by Dylan Gabriel. I was expecting, honestly, exactly what he did. A limited game plan, a limited playbook, take care of the ball, rely on the run game, all that kind of stuff. So I thought Dylan played well. And obviously Quinshon Judkins is that dude. So we got a voicemail here. I just want to go through this real quick. This one is from Devontae.
Hey guys, it's Devontae here. So for years, I said it was Baker. Said it was the O-line, which is 100% correct, Joe. The lack of weapons. The lack of an adult in the room. Deshaun, Joe Flacco, DTR, Jameis, Jacoby, Joe Flacco again, Dylan Gabriel. We have to look at this from the top to bottom. It seems not a bad talent team. They are a bad coach team. This offense is stale. It's very predictable. There's nobody that scares you. So buckle up for the next 2 months of this, 3 months. So go Browns.
Go Browns indeed, Devontae. He said there, this is not a bad talent team. I already went through the offensive side of the ball for Hue Jackson's 2017 winless team and Kevin Stefanski's team this year. And made the argument, obviously, if you guys don't agree, let me know in the comments. I think that Kevin's offense, while it's not loaded with talent by any stretch of the imagination, is still better than the Deshaun Kaiser, Isaiah Crowell, Corey Coleman, Ricardo Lewis, Randall Telfer offense. I think having David Njoku in his 8th or 9th year right now being what he is, having Harold Fannin, having Jerry Jeudy is obviously better than Ricardo Lewis and Corey Coleman. Quinshon Judkins is obviously better than Isaiah Crowell. You guys let me know what you think about Kaiser versus, Flacco and Gabriel. But the point is, Kevin definitely has, he's got better stuff than what Jackson had back then. But if you look at the defensive side of the ball, the Browns have such a good defense right now. Such a good defense with Myles Garrett, with Denzel Ward, with Grant Delpit. You got Malik Collins and Mason Graham and Carson Schlesinger and all these guys. I know Greg Newsome was getting burnt again up and down the field and all that kind of stuff the other day, but he's still a decent cornerback. This is who we had in 27. This is Hue Jackson had this defense that I'm about to list in 2017. So on the edges, it was Myles Garrett, rookie Myles Garrett. Remember that, because this is not the same Myles Garrett that, is the elite future Hall of Famer that he is now. This is rookie Myles Garrett. And on the other side, it was Emmanuel Ogbah. In the middle, Trevon Coley and Danny Shelton. Okay, Malik Collins. I don't even want to compare. I hate doing this because obviously our defense is a million times better than what the defense was back then. Linebackers, Christian Kirksey, Joe Schobert, and James Burgess. Cornerbacks, Jason McCourty, old Jason McCourty, and Jamar Taylor, and your safeties were Jabril Peppers and Derek Kindred. So with a worse offense and a significantly worse defense in 2017, Hue Jackson's offensive statistical output was slightly better than what Kevin's is, and his record was only one game worse than what Kevin's record is right now. Now, can things turn around? I'll try to bring in some positivity here. Try to bring it into the show because we've got a long season. We've got 12 games left to go. Yes, of course, things can turn around for the Browns. Obviously, I've been on record here on the shows talking about how it's just, I don't like to schedule watch way down the line, especially before the season, because you just don't know. You just don't know what any of these teams are actually going to be. Obviously, we would have thought the Ravens would have been way better than what they have shown that they are through 5 weeks. Now, we have some data. We have some sample size, 5 weeks of the NFL season and all that kind of stuff. So I will do it. I will go through the schedule right now and let's see what we got going on. I want you guys to comment along with me in the comments wherever you're watching or listening, because I just want to hear what you guys have to say. So Steelers this week. Again, we'll do our preview show on Thursday, 3 p.m. Eastern in the Discord live. Make sure if you guys want to get in there, go to jointhedogs.com. But I think the Steelers game, and I will say this on Thursday, it's the Steelers. It's Mike Tomlin at home, coming off a bye week against the Browns. Kevin Stefanski traveling back from London. Myles Garrett has already said that they were tired and exhausted from the travel to London. They just got their butts, embarrassed over there, and now they're coming back from London. Short week for practice and all that kind of stuff to get ready for the Steelers, who have had 2 weeks to rest and prepare. I give us pretty much zero chance in this game. That's just me. If you guys have a more optimistic outlook, let me know. But then next week, the Dolphins at home. That's an interesting game. That's a game where if, Kevin Stefanski wants to right the ship and get this team, an impressive win. Like if we come out and we beat the Dolphins, 13-10 or, 17-16, that's going to kind of be disappointing. Like this is a game, if you are any bit of a competitive or good football team, you should lay one on the Dolphins, but I don't think they will. I do think that there's a chance they win. Again, I'm not going to predict wins for this team until they show me wins. It's just the way I roll. At the Patriots after that, Mike Vrabel, this Patriots team is picking up steam. That could be tough. And then it's at the Jets. Again, the Jets are not a good team. They're 0-5, but it's a road game. And we've talked about how the defense is just not elite on the road. That could be interesting. And then we're at home against the Ravens. We'll see if Lamar Jackson is back for that. The Ravens defense is so bad. Our offense should be able to do something. And each of these weeks, each of these games, Dylan Gabriel has another week under his belt, another week of experience. Hopefully the playbook's expanding a little more and he's getting a little bit more under his feet and all that kind of stuff. So things could definitely change for the Browns and their offense specifically. Then you're at the Raiders right there before, I think that's before Thanksgiving. Again, another road game, and then the 49ers come in here. Man, the 49ers are good, and they're well coached. I've made that point. Then you got the Titans at home. You can't lose to the Titans. You cannot lose to the Titans. And then you go to Chicago and play the Bears, and then you're back home against the Bills, the Steelers, and then you wrap it up against the Bengals. There are wins. There are wins on this schedule that are coming. The Browns are not going to finish the season 1-16. At least I don't think so. Now, again, I said I'm not going to go through and predict which games these guys are going to win and declaratively say that's a win. They need to prove it to me. They need to show me and do it. But just the odds of the NFL and of football in general say there are some games in the next 12 games, next 13 weeks to finish out the season that the Browns are going to win. So let's see if this team can get things back on track, especially on the offensive side of the ball, because it's pathetic, guys. This is sad. Very sad. So let me know what you guys think about the comparisons between, the first 5 weeks of the season for Hue Jackson in 2017, Kevin Stefanski here in 2025, all that kind of stuff. I want to make it clear right now, while I am fully on board with moving on from Kevin and AB and this entire regime after this season is over, I am on board after the season is over. I want to make that point. I'm not advocating for anybody to get fired now. That makes no sense. That would not be good for the team. It wouldn't help anything. It wouldn't help anything. Let's roll. Let's see how the season goes. Maybe Kevin can get things back on track. Maybe we can catch, lightning in a bottle the way we did, the second half of 2023 in a season that looked like it was going to be lost completely. And then, unpredictable, unforeseen things happened. We got an easy stretch of games down the back end of the season. Joe Flacco came in. Nobody was expecting the Browns to do what they did. So maybe that happens again. I just wouldn't predict it. But the big things, With this team, let's watch these rookies. Let's watch Harold Fannin continue to develop. Let's watch the quarterbacks. Let's watch Dylan Gabriel. Let's see if he holds on to that starting job or if he cedes way to Shedeur Sanders here at some point in the season. Let's watch Quinshon Judkins continue to hopefully. I think right now, right, he's the best. I think he's 8th in the league in rushing yards. He's the best of all the rookie running backs. So Marion Hampton for the Chargers just went on IR. He's going to miss at least 4 games with an ankle injury. Ashton Genty and the Raiders suck. Really, they suck bad. So Quinshon Judkins has a clear path here to finish the season as the top rookie running back rusher from this class. I think that's exciting. Isaiah Bond is a great young wide receiver talent. Talent that needs to be developed. And that's another whole other issue with this coaching staff is developing players, especially wide receivers. But let's continue to see what Isaiah Bond can show on the field because we're going to need to overhaul a lot of positions next year. And we need to know which guys we can rely on and bring along for the ride. Oh, one last thing I wanted to make sure I talk about this. David Njoku. Let me know what you guys think in the comments again about all this stuff, but especially David Njoku. For me, there are 2 possible outcomes for David Njoku, and that's it. Either David Njoku is going to be traded within the next, what is this? This is going to be week 6. The trade deadline's in week 9, so in the next 3 weeks. Or he will be extended. Now, I'm not saying he'll be extended within the next 3 weeks. I'm saying he will either be traded, and if the trade deadline comes and passes, then we know he's getting extended at some point. Probably later in the season or definitely, well, I guess you can't even say in the offseason because he'd be a free agent, but definitely later in the season, you will see an extension come down for David Njoku. This team is like 1-6, 1-6, 2-6, something like that when we're looking down that week 9 trade deadline. Maybe they trade David Njoku. And I'm not saying I want them to. I would love to see David stay here and, be a Cleveland Brown for the rest of his career. Actually, I would advocate strongly for the Browns to keep him, extend him. Because if you get rid of David Njoku, if you trade David Njoku, one, you're saying we really don't want to be competitive on offense this season. Because he is your only playmaking weapon in the receiving game. Like, he's it. He's it. I mean, Harold Fannin, yes, again, rookie, has shown well so far this season, but he's still a rookie. Can't rely on Jerry Jeudy at all. Like, at all. And after him, the wide receiver core is, I mean, it's 2017 Hue Jackson team bad. If you get rid of David Njoku, what are you telling Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders? Like, we're going to get rid of your best offensive weapon. Sorry. And then, these two, it's either going to be Dylan and/or / Shedeur next year, or pencil in whatever rookie quarterback we draft to come in here to compete, whatever the situation is next year. I mean, you're telling those guys, hey, we're getting rid of your best weapon. I think they need to keep David Njoku as that security blanket, as that, go-to target. Now, he drops the ball too a lot and things like that, but he's better than anything else we have. I mean, he's clearly that guy, that weapon right now in the passing game. So I think they need to extend him. Will they, or will they trade him? I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, let me know what you guys think. But I just wanted to talk about David Njoku. I've seen some things on social media, people talking about how they wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets traded either, but I don't want them to. So we'll see what this team, what the record is, how they're performing, and what things are looking like as the trade deadline approaches here in the next few weeks. So let me know all your thoughts and opinions on this. Again, if you are fully on board with Kevin Stefanski and you think it's all on the players and all that stuff, that's totally fine. I like Kevin. I've said this before. I don't think he's a bad coach. I just don't think he's a great coach. I just don't think he is a difference-making coach. His offense is bad. It's stale. It's unimaginative. It's never going to be what we need it to be to go anywhere or do anything special in the National Football League. That's just my opinion. If you have a different one, let me know. Give me your reasoning. I'd love to hear your arguments, your point of view, your side of things, and why you feel the way you do. And if you think I'm wrong, tell me why. Just let me know because, again, I've said it a million times and I'll say it now. I hope I'm wrong. I hope so. I hope I look back at these videos a year from now and say, man, I was definitely overreacting. I really hope that's the case. I hope. I don't think so, but I hope. All right, that's enough. I'm going to get out of here. I'll see you guys on Thursday for the Dog Pack Discord live show. We'll preview the upcoming matchup between the Browns in Pittsburgh against the Steelers. And I will see you guys then. Again, if you're not in the Discord and you want to be, go to jointhedogs.com, become an official Dog Pack member on the Patreon, sync up with the Discord. And if you're not in there for the live show, then I'll see you guys on the replay whenever the video and podcast gets posted afterward. So we'll see you guys then. Let's go Browns.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Dogs Podcast. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at The Dogs Podcast. Get your thoughts on the show at thedogspodcast.com.
BetterHelp. Browns fans, if you're like me, the stresses in life only increase the older you get. Your family, your job, your bank account, just a few things that drive the cycle of stress every day. And if you have people constantly depending on you, it can put a heavy weight on your mental health. What if I fail? What if I'm not good enough? Why does no one appreciate everything I'm trying to do for them? If these thoughts have ever darkened your day, 1, you're not alone, and 2, I highly recommend talking to someone, and that's where BetterHelp could be the right resource for you. Head to BetterHelp, HELP.com/dogs, DAWGS for 10% off your first month of talk therapy. Just fill out a simple questionnaire and BetterHelp will match you with the best therapist for your needs. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch therapists at any time for no extra cost. BetterHelp is 100% online. You can talk with your therapist on the phone, via face chat, or even through text message. Your therapist will listen, ask questions, and help you see things from new perspectives. So what are you waiting for? Take the first step to making positive improvements in your life. Head to BetterHelp.com/dogs now for 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/dogs for 10% off your first month.